Hi, Sam Wilson TV here. I want to talk a little bit about Fuze. To bring movement into my stream, I like to use Fuze. Fuze is the visualizer of Lumiastream. With it, you can display music, speech, or sounds in light, but also mirror the colors of the screen onto your lamps. For this, Fuze gives you three options: video, audio, and audio-video. Video transfers an average of your screen colors to your connected lights. You can choose which screen to sample and which lights to represent those colors. Audio turns your setup into a disco. Because this requires a bit of finesse, we go into it a little bit more in a moment. Audio-video is ultimately the mixture of the two previous options. First of all, I would like to say that Fuze is still experimental and we are constantly working on improving it. So it may not yet respond optimally here and there, however I have been using it ever since I got to know Lumiastream and have always been happy with the result. However, sometimes you might have to tinker a bit for the optimal result, but more on that later. Let's go through all three options. First, we go to Studio, Fuze, and then we select Video. On the right side, you will find the button Manage Lights. Here you select which of your lights should react to Fuze. Drag the corresponding light from left to right with the mouse, and if you want to select all the lights of a brand, then click a little bit next to the box and you can drag them all over at once. Please note, unlike reactions or animations, lights must be selected here, otherwise it will stay dark. On the left hand side, under the type selection, you will find the refresh rate. This setting depends on the performance of your computer. Current computers should manage at least fast. High-end machines should have no problem with Plus Ultra. In the video color precision setting, I personally prefer Precise. However, everyone has to find out themselves what they prefer. Now we set the brightness control. Here you have three options: automatic, which I recommend, fixed value, and minimum to maximum range. If you select automatic, Lumiastream will decide for you how bright your lights should be, according to what is happening on the monitor. With the fixed value option, you set your brightness to a fixed value and it does not change dynamically. With minimum to maximum range, you can set a minimum brightness and a maximum brightness. And last but not least, we choose which monitor to scan. Now your selected lights react to changes on your screen. Minor spoiler alert, we are currently working on the possibility of capturing different zones of the screen in the future, which will enable an even more accurate representation of the colors. Let's see what this looks like. And you see the lights react to what happens on your screen. Let's change the type to audio. Cards on the table. Fuze Audio is my personal favorite and the reason why I chose Lumiastream back then. Who among us hasn't always wanted their own little private disco in their room? And if you make music yourself, you will appreciate the effect of matching colors. So it's no wonder that I've been working a lot with Fuze Audio and sometimes get on our developers' nerves with suggestions for changes. But I digress. We want to bring our music, game sounds, or simply our speech to life. But to do that, we first need to prepare a scene in Studio where we already have all the lights we want to use distributed. You can find out how to create a scene in the video that I link to you in the top right hand corner and in the description. You can also use Fuze Audio with just one color. However, you can do more crazy things with a scene. When we have created our scene, let's go back to Fuze and set the refresh rate. Again, the more power the computer has, the higher you can set this. So I set this to Plus Ultra. To be fair, fast can sometimes achieve even better results. Just try it out. Next, we select our audio input device. Normally, just select desktop. For professionals, I will come to the audio routing later. Now we set the minimum brightness. I prefer the lights to be dark when there is no sound, so I set it to 0%. Now comes the maximum brightness. Of course, we want our lights to go all out when the beat is grooving, so we set it to 100%. And then there is the sensitivity. Here you set how strongly the lights should react to the sound. This setting depends on your sound settings. If you listen to loud music, you want to set a small value here. If you only have background music playing, you can set a larger value. Don't be surprised that I have set it to 100%. I will explain why in a moment. Next, we have one of the most interesting settings, the Fuze audio type. Here you have the choice between color, scene and Fuze jam. Color, as the name suggests, is simply a color that you choose. The lights then flash in that color to the music. If you select scene, your lights light up in the colors you have previously selected in your scene and dance to the rhythm of your sound. The colors always stay in the same place. And then there is Fuze jam. This is the last and newest setting. Here you also select the scene. However, the colors are no longer fixed, but move back and forth between the selected lights. This brings a nice dynamic to the scenario. I always recommend Fuze jam. In the next drop-down, you select the scene you want to use. If I find it. And last but not least, we have the analysis method. We recommend always choosing modern and only switching to classic if you encounter difficulties. So let's see what happens if I start Spotify. It will only happen after my Spotify switch scene alert, so there will be a little bit delay before the lights go off to the music. I really need to put the duration of my switch scene alert down. So let's change the Fuze type again to audio video. And see that the settings here are similar to those mentioned before. The only difference is that no scene is selected here, but the colors of the monitor are used and these react to the sound patterns of your audio. As I stated before, audio routing can be kinda tricky sometimes. If you use the Go XLR, for example, you will find that you don't have a fitting input device for your needs. If you're interested in an advanced setup, tune in on our next video about audio routing and how to combine Fuze with Go XLR and Voicemeeter Banana. If you want more of these tutorials, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching and have a luminous day.